I'm Larry Fedoruk, and this is Later That Same Life. On this weekly podcast, topics, discussions, stories from our lives.
Season 6, Chapter 10.
21st Century Lingo.
I'm amazed at how much our language has changed in the 21st century alone, just the last couple of decades. Throughout our lives, words and phrases become popular, then not. They come and go, they're in vogue, and then they're out of fashion. It's all very groovy. These days, however, it can be very difficult to keep up. You might find yourself having to look up new words and phrases as they work their way into our vernacular. You know, vernacular, that is simply parlance for jargon. Jargon is like a colloquialism for lingo. Just think of the amount of language we have had to learn so early into this new millennia. Most of us have mostly kept up. Good for us. Let's think of it this way. As we all know, the 21st century began in the year 2001. Reaching the year 2000 was cool and all, but it was not the new century yet. So let's say you went to a New Year's Eve party, December 31st, 2000. You rang in the new year, and by the time you said goodbye to everybody and got a cab home, it was 3 a.m. No worries, you had the day off. You could sleep in. And sleep in you did. When you finally wake up, it's autumn 2022. Wow, you really slept in. So you got the scenario, You walk out of the bedroom, and the first thing you notice is how your significant other has redone the entire place. You notice a note on the fridge. Hey, hun, if this is the day you finally wake up, it's October 6th, 2022. I will see you later. XOXO. You see what looks like a TV, also a computer, but the screens are flat. Flat screens. I wonder what they call those flat screens. The computer flat screen comes up with Google? What the heck's a Google? It appears you can type in this one box. Let's try it. Hey Google, what's a Google? Oh, it's a search engine. What's a search engine? It's a program that searches for and defines terms in a database, including World Wide Web. Oh, cool. What are these other icons? Instagram? TikTok? Twitter? Well, what do you do on this Twitter? You tweet. Or you can retweet. Apparently important to hashtag. It all seems to be called social media. Well, maybe I'll just grab a coffee and watch some TV. What are these? Coffee pods and K-cups. All right, well, maybe just some TV then. You just start scrolling through some channels. Well, what does this one mean? On demand? This one says streaming service. I can stream this show, whatever that means. This one says binge watch. This one is binge worthy. And this other one is bingeable. This channel is YouTube. And a lot of the videos are done by YouTubers. All right, maybe later. This channel is for foodies? What's a foodie? Well, one of them is having kimchi, and he likes it because it's plant-based. Okay, next. How about some sports? Oh, look, that guy. I remember that guy because he was the best ever. Wait, what? Why are they calling him the GOAT? Why is he the GOAT? I thought he was the greatest of all time. Wow, times have really changed. I mean, look at those golfers. They're engaging in sports washing. Well, I guess you should catch up on some of the news. Well, this guy appears to be a trumper in the deep state who dog whistles into the echo chamber so that his alternative facts aren't manipulated by the fake news. And those who attack his MAGA agenda are on a witch hunt, and they're saying the truthers have no truthiness. And then the alt-right makes it all look like a dumpster fire, when all they were trying to do was drain the swamp. It appears Black Lives Matter, but a woke culture believes in critical race theory. But then there's this exhausted majority who believes in cancel culture, and they might be engaging in whataboutism. Man, did you ever sleep in? You missed a lot. In other news, apparently COVID? What is COVID? What, are we just making up words now? COVID was causing shrinkflation. Anti-vaxxers would never get a booster against a subvariant like Omicron, or wear PPE or practice social distancing. And of course, rapid testing can give you a false positive or a false negative. What are you even talking about? On this other news channel, here's some experts editorializing about the long-term consequences of 9/11 and Brexit. Yeah, I guess we are just making up words. At this point, you think, geez, I better wait for my spouse to get home and explain all of these words and phrases? But in the meantime, maybe just go outside for a while. Maybe go for a walk, look around. Well, I guess the neighborhood hasn't changed that much. Well, Blockbuster is gone. And here's a spot for, what is this, e-bikes? And that car over there, it's a Tesla. Tesla? I thought he died decades ago. Well, maybe his grandkids are making cars now. What is that over there? Looks like a tent city. You think about getting a coffee, but you have no money on you. Apparently you have no smartphone, much less an app that you can tap. Suddenly you start to overhear a couple of young women on a nearby park bench. Apparently one of them came across some yarn bombing while out with her bestie and wanted to take a selfie in front of it. She took out her selfie stick, but was photobombed by a millennial, or possibly a Gen Z. She was going to post it on Facebook with some emojis and tag some folks, even though Facebook can really be an envy amplifier. But now the whole thing is ruined. The other girl said that was a first world problem, and that she was acting like a real Karen. So she shot back by calling her friend a Debbie Downer. Then they both looked at a GIF that was a meme. Apparently memes can be GIFs, but a GIF is not always a meme. Right. One said she was pinged because of the Wi-Fi, which also happens all the time in her car with the Bluetooth. A lot of the memes are clickbait or spammy, even the buzzy ones. They decided they were going to unfollow some people and unfriend others. They also both agreed that adulting was really tough, and they should probably do less doom scrolling. Both agreed they should cut back on their screen time, but then one started playing Sudoku, and the other one was on Wordle. Then they each both called their personal shopper. At this point, you remind yourself that this is the last time you decide to sleep for 22 years, because now you can barely understand what anyone is talking about. Could language have changed that much? Then these two young men in suits sit down on the next bench over. Gee, I guess no one wears ties anymore. Or socks, for that matter. Oh wait, the one guy has socks. Really fancy ones that don't seem to go with the suit. One of the guys was saying how tough the times are in this gig economy. So tough he was thinking of crowdfunding his life. Or maybe just start a podcast or a vlog as a side hustle. And then if he could go viral, he could monetize the clicks to cash in on surveillance capitalism. You see, first you become an earworm, and then go behind a paywall and start accepting Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency. A lot of it would depend on the algorithms and the content moderation. He said he'd know more later this afternoon after his Zoom meeting. He'd attend the meeting even though lately he was basically quiet quitting. The other guy said he was going to invest in 3D printers, or maybe just buy a non-fungible token. Then a young woman came to sit down beside them. She asked them to move over, or at least stop man-spreading, so she could have some room on the bench. They enthusiastically shared their money plans. The time is now, YOLO and FOMO. And they asked her if she really understood what they were talking about. Of course, she said, stop mansplaining. And then she said she hoped their bromance works out. They also must have been really into movies because they started talking about how many bad actors there were out there. But they said they weren't necessarily profiling. Also, I guess they all knew this guy Ted, who sounded super intelligent. Because apparently Ted talks all the time about a lot of different things. But apparently not as smart as this Siri. You could ask Siri anything. They all decided to go for lunch, and they were going to take their friend, Uber, but then they talked about how Uber eats. They seemed to settle on making a DoorDash to a Grubhub. Who knows? The woman pointed out how sometimes when Uber eats at her house, she has to be careful of porch pirates. One of the guys said that porch pirates cause him to facepalm, and then they all left. So back to the first two women. One was throwing shade on a guy they both knew because he gaslighted her. So now she was ghosting him. Then they talked about this other mutual friend they had who just announced that they were non-binary. Isn't binary that code that's all zeros and ones? So I guess non-binary, you don't think you're a zero or a one. I don't know. Well, either way, none of them was going to be attending the gender reveal party on Saturday. The second woman, the one who appeared to be younger, started talking about her father. And though she wasn't body shaming, she said her father had a real dad bod. And he always told dad jokes. But at least at home, growing up, he always provided a safe space. And all in all, he was pretty adorkable. Well, probably just time to go home, huh? And lock the door for a while. This was a whole new reality after sleeping for so long. Of course, at one point during your outing, you also heard about virtual reality and augmented reality. You also learned about single-use plastics. They were killing the planet. And that people who take advantage of storms engage in disaster capitalism. And hey, who are those oath keepers? They keep an oath. They sound like nice guys. What is Obamacare? Is SpaceX a thing or a person? Does almond milk come from almonds or cows that eat almonds? What is kale and quinoa? What is Netflix? Who or what is a Kardashian? What does a Harry Potter look like? Is he part of the whole current Harry Styles? Is Rihanna from that Fleetwood Mac song? Because I thought that was Rhiannon. And apparently over the last 22 years there have been several Sharknadoes. All of this just in the last 2 decades. And give yourself a little pat on the back for knowing most of these terms. I mean, every nationality or occupation, social strata, age group, etc., have their own language, if you will, terms and slang that we may not understand. But all of these that I've just mentioned, about 150 of them, they involve all of us. We've all had to learn them. And just think, all of it in the last little while. I'm actually going to recap this in a list. I may have missed a term or two in this podcast, but I think this is going to be like the definitive list of new words and phrases so far. Ready? Flat screens, Google, search engine, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, tweet, retweet, hashtag, social media, coffee pods, K-cups, on-demand, streaming service, binge watch, binge-worthy, bingeable, YouTube, YouTubers, foodies, kimchi, plant-based, goat, sports washing, Trumpers, deep state, dog whistle, echo chamber, alternative facts, fake news, MAGA, witch hunt, truthers, truthiness, alt-right, dumpster fire, drain the swamp, Black Lives Matter, woke, critical race theory, exhausted majority, cancel culture, whataboutism, COVID, shrinkflation, anti-vaxxers, boosters, subvariant, PPE, social distancing, Omicron, rapid testing, false negative, false positive, 9/11, Brexit, e-bike, Tesla, Tent City, smartphone, app, tap, yarn bombing, bestie, selfie stick, photo bombing, millennial, Gen Z, Facebook, emojis, tag, envy amplifier, first world problem, Karen, Debbie Downer, gifs, memes, pinged, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, clickbait, spammy, buzzy, unfollow, unfriend, adulting, doom scrolling, screen time, Sudoku, Wordle, personal shopper, gig economy, crowdfunding, podcast, vlog, side hustle, go viral, monetize, surveillance capitalism, earworm, paywall, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, algorithm, content moderation, Zoom, quiet quitting, 3D printer, non-fungible token, manspreading, mansplaining, YOLO, FOMO, bromance, bad actors, profiling, TED Talks, Siri, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, Porch Pirates, Facepalm, Throw Shade, Gaslight, Ghost, Non-Binary, Gender Reveal, Body Shaming, Dad Bod, Dad Joke, Safe Space, Adorkable, Virtual Reality, Augmented Reality, Single-Use Plastic, Disaster Capitalism, Oath Keepers, Obamacare, SpaceX, Almond Milk, Kale, Quinoa, Netflix, Kardashian, Harry Potter, Harry Styles, Rihanna, and for good measure, Sharknado. That's the list. Wow. Hey, here's an idea. One more time. Just kidding.
21st Century Lingo.
I could also go on with, I guess, a bunch of different names and brands that we've only come to know in the 21st century. And of course, go through a long list of acronyms, all those acronyms we've had to learn. IMHO, in my humble opinion. FWIW, for what it's worth. BRBLMAO, and hundreds of others that we have filled our brains with, because even during these days of autofinish and autocorrect, oh wait, there's two more we could add. Anyway, even in the days of autofinish and autocorrect, we apparently still need abbreviations. A number of events and fads have actually happened over the years, too, that have become unique in our language. The Ice Bucket Challenge. Ice Bucket Challenge, that was good. Cinnamon Challenge, not as much. Cinnamon Challenge was up there with beer enemas, eating Tide Pods, and cooking chicken in NyQuil. These kind of fit the category because they are words and phrases we never thought we'd hear ourselves say. Cooking chicken in NyQuil. Don't eat Tide Pods. Wow, yeah, don't eat laundry detergent, you pinheads. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Just in these last 20 years, man, have we ever reshaped our language. And we've had to learn the lingo. And don't forget to watch your pronouns. Can you imagine being asleep all that time? And then to have to try and absorb all of that in one day? It'd be like you slept for 22 years, but within just a few hours, you'd be exhausted again. And by the way, if I have missed your favorite 21st century word or phrase, my email is coming up at the end of this podcast. You can send it to me. Or add them in the comments of my YouTube channel, or when I post the podcast links on social media. Our fictional friend, the modern-day Rip Van Winkle, finally just went home and sat down. Said to himself, well, I've been away a long time, got a lot to catch up on, a lot to learn. Well, at least Jay Leno's probably still on The Tonight Show. I'll bet the Queen is still alive. And chances are that Jeopardy with Alex Trebek is still going strong.
Later That Same Life is written, voiced, and produced by Larry Fedoruk. LarryFedoruk37@gmail.com. Subscribe to Larry's podcast YouTube channel. Get automatic notifications with each new episode.
One more time! Flat screens, Google, search engine, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, tweet, retweet, hashtag, social media, coffee pods, K-cups, on-demand, streaming service, binge watch, binge-worthy, bingeable, YouTube, YouTubers, foodies, kimchi, plant-based, goat, sports washing, Trumpers, deep state, dog whistle, echo chamber, alternative facts, fake news, MAGA, witch hunt, truthers, truthiness, alt-right, dumpster fire, drain the swamp, Black Lives Matter, woke, critical race theory, exhausted majority, cancel culture, whataboutism, COVID, shrinkflation, anti-vaxxers, booster, subvariant, PPE, social distancing, Omicron, rapid testing, false negative, false positive, 9/11, Brexit, e-bike, Tesla, 10th city, smartphone, app, tap, yarn bombing, bestie, selfie stick, photo bombing, millennial, Gen Z, Facebook emojis, tag, envy amplifier, first world problem, Karen, Debbie Downer, GIFs, memes, pinged, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, clickbait, spammy, buzzy, unfollow, unfriend, adulting, doom scrolling, screen time, Sudoku, Wordle, personal shopper, gig economy, crowdfunding, podcast, vlog, side hustle, go viral, monetize, surveillance capitalism, earworm, paywall, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, algorithm, content moderation, Zoom, quiet quitting, 3D printer, non-fungible totem, manspreading, mansplaining, YOLO, FOMO, bromance, bad actors, profiling, TED Talk, series, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, porch pirates, face palm, throw shade, gaslight, ghost, non-binary, gender reveal, body shaming, dad bod, dad joke, safe space, adorable, virtual reality, augmented reality, single-use plastic, disaster capitalism, oath keepers of uncare SpaceX, almond milk, kale, quinoa, Netflix, Kardashian, Harry Potter, Harry Styles, Rihanna, auto-finish and auto-correct, Sharknado.